Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome to the East-West Show. Jack Chow on the East-West Show with ICT TV. We know that Weekly Update is the most anticipated show for all week. My friends, and I have a audience group who are my immediate supporters around me. They often call me and say they like this Weekly Update. Number one, we are inclusive. Number two, we're precise. Number three, well, we accurately bring the news by not taking sides.
Right. We report.
Okay. And with me, I believe the credit goes to my friend Ken Hemming. Mr. Ken Hemming is a philosopher that if I would say that, I would say he has the most sober-minded of all friends that I know.
Thank you.
Yet, and that's not all, he is a book writer himself, and his book, Life is Simple, 100 Words to Live By, is my Bible, which stays next to my pillow in between me and my wife. I still do. And by the way, 2 days ago, we were driving, and she started talking about your book, though.
Sweet.
And she talks about the beauty of having Chinese and English all together going page against page.
I'd like to get it in these schools, these language schools that teach Chinese or English.
Exactly.
Because the message is
exactly.
there, Jack.
That is why she reads the book, right? What she's doing now, upon my instruction, I ask her to read one paragraph, and again the same paragraph, and again the third paragraph, until she feels that I have done all efforts and still I'm not understanding totally. So turn to the same paragraph in Chinese to look for answer, and then without consulting a dictionary, go back, see if you improve your reading, right? And you do not need to find out why you improved, but you will improve. And going on and on and on by following this same method, though, you will grow faster. And this is what she's doing now.
I would like to get that in the language schools that teach either English or Chinese.
Yeah, sure.
Because the message is there, and then you can compare the translation.
And the positivity.
Very valuable.
And the positivity is the key.
All positive.
The positivity is the essence of that book.
All positive.
That's why I like it so much. My dear friends, I want to recommend that book to you, my lovely audiences, especially if you have somebody who is between the two languages. So recommend to them. That will help you a lot in both ways. Number one, the learning of English.
Yeah.
Right. Number two, the content, the message, the positivity that the content has in there. That will help you a lot, right?
It will impact your life in a beautiful way.
Yeah, for that I give you appreciation for everybody who has read that book.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank
very
you.
good. Being a commentator, political commentator, he is helping a lot, sharing his views of things around us. Right now, for this week, though, what do you have on top of your list?
Well, today I'm wearing my red tie, Jack, which is a tie like the same color that Donald Trump wears a lot.
About 90% of times, though, you're wearing a red tie.
Well, because I love the Constitution and I love my country. That's what this represents.
In other words, in 90% of the time, you're celebrating.
I celebrate every breath I take.
Okay.
But what happened yesterday, they had a runoff for the last Senate, United States Senator in Mississippi. Mississippi, too, is a very interesting state because it's about 60% white and about 40% black. The voting is kind of follows these color lines, which I hopefully changes over time because I don't think anybody should vote based on color. And there's not a lot of Asians in Mississippi, probably not too many. Great, we should go open a Chinese restaurant there. But really, and so Cindy Hyde-Smith, the lady, then won, and that gives us 53, us being in the Senate, those that believe in the Constitution, the Republican Party under President Trump, 53 Republicans, which it was 51-49 before, and then when John McCain went like that, 2 in the morning to wipe out the reversal of Obamacare. Now, having 53, it's a decent-sized majority, which will help us get judges approved faster. Also, probably Ruth Bader Ginsburg will retire sometime. The poor lady, 85, she did fall and broke a couple ribs, but she's back at work now, which is good. I want her to be. And but at a point, like she said, I want to retire at 91. But something might happen if Trump has 6 more years. There could easily be another justice to be replaced. And having 53 gives a really good chance, no matter how nasty they might get, like they did to Kavanaugh. The person will be approved. So anyway, I'm excited for that. Mississippi has a lot of historical significance in difficult race relations in the past. Everybody's pretty friendly and together now, and that's good.
According to history, Mississippi, even from history, Mississippi has been a very amicable, relatively, state. Right.
I like it.
With the water.
Yeah.
Well, according to the Chinese philosophy, water is the essence of the land that nourish people.
I like that.
You belong to your water. We say the certain water forms a certain concept.
Okay.
Certain water forms a certain concept, right? For Mississippi, I would say most of the fact that we see has relations with the water, right?
Okay, yeah.
That we have to agree. People there are more diverse, right? And they are more peace loving.
They get along very well, I think.
They get along quite well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now, and with the winning of Miss Smith, Senator Smith now,
right?
Senator Smith, I believe that will not only bring another additional seat to the Senate, but also the fact is that we would have a more reasonable voice in the Senate representing Mississippi. Do you think so?
I think so. And also, I failed to double check the population of Mississippi, but the voting was about 450,000 for Senator Smith and about 350 for the other person. So it's not a big state, but we're all equally important because all the states equally have 2 senators. That's very, very big part of, like California, we got 40 million people. And I think all of Southern California, like Orange County now, every House of Congressperson is a Democrat. And this state is in trouble.
Sure.
Financially.
Remember last time when you were here, we mentioned the fact that I'm more confident about the fact that each party holds 1 house.
Yeah, that's
right. That's even better than both houses in one hand, so that you have none of the excusable explanation about any failure.
Well, if the Democrats want to get anything into law, they have to work with Republicans because President Trump has a veto power.
Yeah.
So if he vetoes it, they'll get nothing done except hatred.
Exactly. So fearing about that, though, there's no chance for any party to go like spearheaded.
Yeah, right.
To one point.
It just force things through the country.
Negotiation, collaboration, cross aisle, and join hands, stuff like that.
Jack, what we're going to start having fun with, with your viewers, of course, is that the positioning for who's going to run for president in 2020, and we're only like 30 days away from 2019, and we're going to, we think it was pretty wild when there was 16 opposed to Trump, in the Republican Party last time, and then Hillary running. This is going to be a stampede on the Democrat side, and they've already stated they want a radical progressive to be their candidate. And if they do, I don't think America. I pray that America will never, elect a radical progressive that is just progressivism leads to socialism and economic failure. So we're going to have fun though, because we're going to see debates that will be wild.
One thing for sure, 2020 election is going to be much, much wilder than 2018.
It will be.
Yeah, it has to be that way. And then 2020 election is more watchable than 2018, right? Noticing the fact, even 2018, well, that was that the fight was that severe. I mean, 2020, the fight will be even more serious, right? Yeah.
And President Trump did go to Mississippi, did two rallies with thousands of people.
However, I promise you,
yes, sir.
I promise you, Americans are awakening. After 7 to 9 years, to 8 years of seeing one side of a failure, though,
right,
they are awakening to see some different ways, see things the different ways. And this is given as the background, time versus reality. You will find out that you have more chances to go more conservative, little more than conservative than rational left.
I believe that's right. Like what's really big now happening is to try to get a spending bill that's got
then radical left.
Yeah, radical left.
Yeah, I'm not right. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Then radical left.
Yeah.
Right. Because we are seeing. You're talking about the pendulum effect, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's swinging back now.
It is. Well, a good economy makes people more conservative, because they're able to take care of themselves. Nobody, look, we have some people that really need assistance, and America is a really generous country. When you need it, we will be there. But when you just want it, then that's the time to resist, okay? Everybody wants everything free. Life is not free. Life is hard.
Of course, it is good you always have a checks and balance.
Right.
Right? And that's why we have those parties. We have the Constitution that guarantees that everybody has the right of expression to say what you want to say.
And the Electoral College.
That doesn't mean that the benefit of people can be used as a toy.
Right.
As a ransom.
Right.
And with my dear friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, we started giving a little comment about the fact that Senator Smith of Mississippi won her seat to Senate. That adds up to 53 seats of Republicans and 47.
47. Yeah.
47 of the Democrat, right? Okay. Yeah. So not a great majority yet, not the absolute majority yet, but yet there's one more seat.
Yeah, we'd like 60, but 53 is better than 47.
61 absolute majority. Okay, let's take a short moment now. We come back, we can pick up another issues, right? And I believe that's, if not a bigger, that's at least same size. Stay with us. Hello, dear friends, lovely audience. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow, on the East West Show with ICT TV. With me is my friend, Mr. Ken Hemming. And in first segment, we're talking about the victory of Senator Smith of Mississippi, that adds one more seat to the Republican Party to the Senate House. Next, we want to talk about the border. Right?
We do.
At the southern border, everybody know that we have a problem. We have a daily growing problem, right? So I would like to give the right of the summary to my friend Ken Hemming. In a few sentences, you want to describe what is happening to the south border, please?
Yes, it's sort of the same thing like when your toilet won't flush. They got all of these people, somewhere between 10 and 15,000 people that have come through on these caravans and now are coagulated or just all stuck together on the Mexican side in Tijuana of the border. And it's very interesting because the mayor of Tijuana is asking for help from the Mexican government to clear them out because they're intense. They're barely existing. They're not going to get over here. And also about 71% of the people in a poll in Tijuana, they want them out of there. They're not, and they're there, and there are some bad people in there. There's some good people in there.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And so they're not popular being there in Mexico itself. Now, the big thing that happened is they had about 500 people there, and trust me, I watch all the films, and the reporters over there also say it's not mostly mothers and kids, okay? And it's mostly men. And in the man gender, there's more bad men than bad women, probably.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
And also then a lot of these kids that are with an adult are not necessarily the children of that adult, because if you come into America illegally with the kid, then you're going to get caught and released. But so here they charged the border, about 500, throwing rocks and all kinds of things to try to hurt our people.
I saw this on lots of video clips.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere all over the world. And then our people had to respond and use some tear gas and pepper spray to repel them, okay? And then of course the media goes crazy that, wow, you're using tear gas and everything. And there's this picture of this woman with her kid running away, with tear gas in the background. Well, there cannot be a worse parent that would bring their kid into a situation where that can happen. You are not a good mom if you're doing that. And I would bet this hand that was probably a staged photo to try to get, I love photographers, but staged to looking for sympathy or whatever. And yet, so the radical left, our media is saying, oh, it's so bad we're using tear gas and pepper spray. Well, 142 times Obama's administration used tear gas and pepper spray. They did.
I'm not talking about who used, who didn't use. Or I'm not even interested that both the Trump administration and the Obama administration use the tear gas, right? At the time and the moment necessary, you really have to do it.
Of course.
But is this the time and the moment that is so necessary that they call the tear gas?
100% yes. When they're trying to harm our people, Jack, throwing rocks in things. They're trying to harm our people.
It is not that. Did you see the actual scene where the tear gas is applied?
Yeah.
They have the metal barred
with
fence.
Holes. Yeah, right.
Right? So, excuse me.
Yeah,
nobody went across the bar.
Well, that's because we wouldn't let them.
No, of course. Nobody went across the fence, right?
They were attacking.
When they do whatever they do is their piece of land. Okay, so on the other side, they can. If they throw rocks, let them throw.
No. You throw a rock at my daughter, you will be in trouble.
No.
They're throwing a rock at my brothers and sisters in America.
Not throwing at, you're talking about throwing on.
They're throwing to try to harm our border guards.
They're trying. Okay, now.
They're violent. Now,
you and I always do this.
Yeah.
Let's argue.
Good.
When we argue, when we come to a point of impasse, and then we let difference.
Then we have
let difference remain.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
My take is that number one, Donald Trump was wrong in the first place by sending troops over there instead of any other agencies. I would say, let me finish, please.
Yeah, I didn't say a word.
I'm okay with him if he send 20,000 of border enforcement agencies there rather than 2,000 soldiers. Why? Because if you send soldiers there, military soldiers, right, you elevated the problem to a certain level, you're declaring war. Otherwise, you do not send military there.
You're responding to war.
Question number one.
You're responding to violence.
No, let me finish.
Yeah.
Right? Question number two. So, when it comes to a point of conflict, though, are you ordering the soldiers to shoot, to fire,
Well,
to kill?
if they start shooting at us, yes, of course. If they start shooting at us, Jack,
If
yes, of
they-
course.
Yes, sir. Let me answer you.
Yeah.
If they started shooting at us, though, can our border control agencies shoot back?
Whoever
Are they not armed?
some
They
are.
are.
So what?
They're, each of them are. Okay, now, by sending the wrong people there, you elevated the conflict to other directions, right? That gives the rebounds of what's happening now.
Well, I think
That's my criticism.
okay.
All right.
And
You may not agree.
no, I can't agree at all. But the military people that we were there, they're the ones that were putting barbed wires on top of the fences. They were supporting the Border Patrol people, Jack. The Border Patrol people are the ones right at the fence. The military people weren't right there. They were supporting putting up all the barricades and securing the border.
I understand. I
Well,
understand. I
okay.
understand.
And yet, if anybody
Whatever
shoots
they
a bullet
do
at
there,
us,
whether
you're
they
gonna
do,
go.
whether they do, they may end up cooking for the border control agencies, right?
Whatever.
Whatever.
Right.
But there, I'm talking about the message. The message of sending troops has delivered, all right?
The message should be, don't come to our country.
I talked with Mr. Mark Ang yesterday on the show. He did not agree with me either. He says that we need to show some muscles at the border,
We do.
right? You're not showing muscle to borders.
You're
to
showing
your
a
border
commitment
countries.
to sovereignty.
Okay, now anyway.
A commitment to
I
sovereignty.
hold my position. I disagree with you. We disagree each other. I believe Donald Trump as a president, even though I'm starting to like him more than I used to.
Yeah.
Right. This is one of the instances that he took a wrong take.
And I 100% support him in this, and I hope we get more tough.
I
It's
wish
that
I
simple.
I wish I can punch you on the nose.
No problem. See,
No
I
problem.
love it when we argue because I never get tired of winning.
Anyway, all right. Anyway, you never get tired of winning. Me, you never get tired of losing.
Yeah, right.
All right. No. But I do strongly hold my fort
That's fine.
that Donald Trump has made a wrong take by sending the troops
No.
over there, by which the interpretation of the world, the rest of the world, worsens the situation, had changed the nature, right? And then had led to, okay, now, I do not reject the fact that this whole thing is orchestrated,
It is orchestrated
right? Now,
by George Soros and his money.
I mean, we shall come back to talk about orchestration. all
Yeah,
right?
okay, good,
All right?
good.
By doing so
Good
doesn't
point.
mean I will stop criticizing Donald Trump of his wrongdoing.
And I will not stop
sending
defending
troops.
him for his right doing.
Okay, well, whatsoever.
So we're good.
I know who you are. I
Yeah.
know how. No. But anyway,
I'm just an American that believes in our sovereignty and believes in our borders. That's all I am.
well, this is another area that I might hold different views.
Good.
And I might argue with you. My dear friends, my lovely audience, today with my brother Ken Hemming, we're once again having the kind of good time, meaning that we agree a little bit, we argue a little bit, and
There's no win or loser.
Either he wins or I win. Well,
It's
it is the
philosophical.
people we win. All right.
Yes.
And we're talking about the fact that we, the people, have the right, not the right to criticize, and also the right to be criticized.
Correct.
Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Let's take a short moment now. We come back to continue, my dear folks. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. My dear brothers and sisters of my fellow Americans, welcome back to the show. Jack Chow on the East West with GNE TV, ICT TV on the East West show. With me is my friend Ken Hemming, a philosopher, a constitutionalist, right? Constitutionalist, right? And we share our views with our audiences about the migrant caravans at the border, the southern border. Right now we have the problem, and the problem is daily increasing, and we do not see any relief so far, except that Tijuana gets involved, the city of Tijuana gets involved.
Right, they're a victim.
They're doing something we do not know as yet, and about the other consequences. So back to the point.
Yeah.
Right. I used the word the last segment, orchestration.
Yes.
Right.
You're good.
Lots of people, not only me, I'm not the only one saying that. Lots of people, a bunch of people say this whole thing is orchestrated. Do you agree? Do you not agree? If yes or no, I need a why, please.
Yeah, we should share with your viewers, what you mean by orchestrated, okay?
Somebody has prearranged.
Yeah, because there's been...
And still, okay, now, put it this way. A huge power is behind it. How about that?
And money, power and money.
Yeah,
power is money.
Power means money.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's true, because see, you're not going to just get random people from 3 or 4 different countries in South America to come up to Mexico, and then like international law that I am not an expert on, but it says that you can seek asylum in the first safe country that you enter. Well, Mexico is the first safe country that they entered. And Mexico is offering some sort of asylum to some of these people.
No.
They are.
Honduras, Guatemala,
Yeah.
Mexico.
Right.
Right? They leave Honduras, enter Guatemala,
Okay.
and then Guatemala let them enter here.
But they're entering Mexico, which is theoretically a safe country to enter, and they should seek their asylum
I'm
there.
talking about the portion of the orchestration.
Yeah, okay, right.
One of the players,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Either a trumpet or violin, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
One of the players is...
That's good.
Yeah, okay. Guatemala, like here.
Yeah.
Okay. Honduras, like here. And Mexico, like here.
Yeah.
Right? They're kind of like in the diagonal line, almost straight line.
Yeah.
Okay, now, number one, I say Guatemala is one of the players, is that Guatemala has their own border control.
Certainly.
Of course.
Or the lack thereof, yes.
Yes, of course, right?
Yeah.
Strong or weak,
Yeah.
they have their border control.
Sure.
They should have the border control. Yet, they open the door, let them in.
Right.
Now, let them in, but let them go across the land all the way to the Guatemala-Mexican border.
Right.
And Mexico opened the door, let them in also.
And probably some of the cartels are giving Guatemala some money to do this. These people, a lot of them aren't coming here for free, okay?
No, I'm thinking
there's a lot of
of course.
corruption.
Of course, there's money involved.
Right.
How about the political money?
Well, and there's political money.
Okay, now,
I think the radical
what I say is that, okay, now let's take Mexico, for example. In one country, which is operating with us now, at the northern border city, Tijuana, mayor of Tijuana,
Right.
even had a statement, very nice statement, of cooperating with us.
Yes.
How come the same country, the eastern border, would open it up?
Well, I think that's a good question.
Are they under the same president,
Well, see-
or same president-elect even?
Well, see, here's the big thing that's happening. This Saturday, Jack, the new president of Mexico is being inaugurated.
I know. I'm talking about the incumbent president and the incoming president all together.
Right.
Suppose if you are the incoming president,
Yeah.
I'm the incumbent president, right? Okay,
Yes, sir.
now we decided to cooperate with the United States. What would we order? What would you and I order? Okay, now if I were you, you were I would order, say, now seal the eastern border. Let's work with the United States at the western border.
Right.
Get the things done.
Right.
Can we say open the eastern border, let them in, and then we'll have them there?
No, it's not the right way.
Can you say this is not orchestrated?
No, you've got people from these countries, and they're random people, okay? Somebody is bringing them together. They're formed in a caravan with a purpose.
That's another point.
Right. They're formed in a caravan. And actually, I really do wonder, how are they eating? The Mexican people are
in a
feeding
democratic
them.
country.
Someone's feeding them.
In a democratic country,
Yes, sir.
everybody has a means of transportation, of commute, right?
Well,
And anybody has food. Do not worry. Okay, you look back into each of the election, how much efforts the political parties has spent in mobilizing the people, putting them together to the voting poll.
well, now you're talking about America or Mexico and
No,
Guatemala.
I'm talking about here.
Yeah, here. Well, yeah. See, money's becoming too powerful for political purposes in America.
You didn't get my point.
I'm sorry.
My point is that even if in the democratic country like ours,
Yes, sir.
right, where everybody has food, means of transportation, we have our means of propaganda whatsoever.
Sure, right.
That takes us that much hard work
Yeah.
to get only about 10% of the population to vote,
Yeah.
right? To vote.
Yeah, right.
Voting means that to get the people at a certain hours on a certain day to go out of the house.
Yeah.
Now, to motivate,
That's true.
to motivate that people,
Yeah.
like 10 to 15,000 people from a far, far away country as Honduras,
Yeah.
to go on caravans all the way across Guatemala,
A lot of miles.
all the way to Mexico. You tell me how much collaboration, organization work are needed.
It has to be pretty brilliantly organized to get people to walk. I mean, a lot of people are walking, and maybe 20 miles a day or 15 miles a day.
So that's why I'm not saying I agree with anybody who claims that, oh, that's an incident.
Yeah.
That happens. What happens? That's an accident.
It's
That's an
orchestrated.
incident. No, it is orchestrated.
Totally.
From that point on, I support the American position of taking it seriously.
Well,
We are not. We are an immigration country. This is what my take. Let me make my overall commitment, right? We are. Oh, you are right. We are an immigration country, but we are not a so-called immigration country that can be taken advantage of at all times. This is time. This is time when we see we're trapped
yeah.
by the political orchestration, political whatsoever orchestration. Of course, we want to do something. That's why I only go back to criticize Donald Trump as president. At this very moment, he should have kept himself a sober mind rather than falling into the trap by sending troops to the border, which elevated the problem.
This is the time. Elevation is necessary.
After the circle, my dear brother,
This is the time.
Can you change your position to understand where I'm from?
I understand where you're from, but I can't change my position as long as I'm breathing.
You know how you can change it?
How?
Slam on the right face and the left face,
yeah.
and both, and you.
See, here's the thing too. We talk about we have more jobs available than people to do the jobs right now, and so wow. So we do need a good immigration with talented people coming in on a merit system. Okay.
Okay. Now let's move on.
But just make one point. In the last 50 or 60 years, we've aborted 1 million people a year. Okay, before they're born and see the daylight of life, and that would have been 50 or 60
Even
million
at this
people
very
that would
moment.
be in our workforce
okay, there's
right
another
now.
side of the story to mention. Okay.
Big stuff.
Even at this very moment, though, we are still taking applications at the border.
Yeah, right.
All right?
We just have a limit how many we can take.
Now, statistics say of those asylum seekers, only 9%, all right, only 9% that actually showed up.
Would oh yeah, no, they don't show up.
Right? No. Only 9% that qualified.
Yeah, qualified, right.
Qualified, all right? Of the 9% qualified, 9% of the 100 qualified, there's only 5 will go to court.
Yeah.
All right? And the other 5%, okay, now 5% of the 9. 5% of 9.
Yeah.
That's 4 point
Little.
whatever.
Yeah, very few.
Whatever, right? Okay,
Yeah.
now we'll go to court.
See, just wanting to have a better life, I think I could do better in America. That is not a reason to be here.
And in court, they will find not even 1/3 of the 5%
Yeah.
out of the 9 actually qualified.
Yeah, I know.
approved the case.
After they look into the depth of the...
In other words, 97 to 98% do not qualify,
as
do
refugees.
Not deserve asylum protection.
Correct.
They came in for something else. Now, my whole point is that this bunch of people, 1.5 to 1.2 to 1.5, no. Yes. Number one, they're not legit. Right. Number two, they were used. Right.
That's true. That's a big point.
Somebody being a shepherd.
They have been used
and abused. Being a shepherd. Some big power being a shepherd of the whole group.
They're pawns in a chess game to try to just invade this country and get votes for Democratic votes.
Okay, now
that's the bottom line.
Good point. I agree. I'm so glad that finally we came to one common ground. Right?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay, my dear audiences, let's take another break. We come back to continue. There is more to be found out. Stay with us, please. No problem. Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. My name is Jack Chow. I don't take this position as my job. I take it as my privilege. Number one, sitting here, that I'm forced to get myself update with everything happening, right? Do lots of homework. Huge amount of homework. The way you see me here, not even looking at my script. In other words, well, after all, it's not even the script. It's just an outline, a few words, right?
Reminder.
I mean, you may see me not even looking at the paper in front of me, but behind that, a lot of homework. Why? Because we want to be responsible for what we say to people. And the more you do that, the more reliable they become upon you, right? Okay, now.
Yes,
and for that, half of the credit goes to my friend Ken Hemming, right? And above all, this whole thing, the whole platform is under Mr. James Su with the EDI Media.
Thank you, Mr. Su.
I'm very, very appreciative to the fact that we have a media that's run by a minority and yet recognized in the mainstream by SBC.
Right, CBS.
Yes, I'm sorry. CBS.
Absolutely. This is glory.
Yeah, we're affiliated with the CBS.
Yes.
Right? So
it's glorious.
Success, I take that as a push, as a spur.
By the way, we're changing CBS
forward
to the Chinese broadcasting system. Okay.
Well, let's do. Yeah,
we have our desires too.
Yeah, let Mother Nature take care of it. Now, with the caravans, you mean migrant? I'm not saying immigration caravan. I call them migrant caravans, right? So those are different by nature. Now, there's another layer that has to be carefully peeled off to see what's underneath.
Yes, sir.
Okay, trust me. Okay, now.
I do.
Okay, let me ask you about timing. Okay. It was about 2 months or more than 2 months when we first heard of there are caravans coming our way. Am I right?
Yes.
Has anybody done anything since then?
Well, what's real interesting is, I watch the radical left news deals through CNN, MSNBC, because I have to know what, people that disagree with me, what their positions are. And they're saying that caravan is an inappropriate word to use, even though it's a caravan. Okay, what is a caravan? Look up the definition. It's a string of things coming along. It's a caravan. And it's politically incorrect to call it a caravan. Well, it is a caravan.
Oh, caravan is a rhetorical term.
Right.
It's a rhetorical term. Could be cars. Right?
Well, a caravan of cars,
Could be wagons.
It doesn't apply to just people.
Could be wagons. Could be on horsebacks. Could be camel rides.
Well, it was camels in the old days. Exactly
right. Could be camel
right.
ride, right?
Right, exactly.
So caravan is only a rhetorical term.
Yeah.
Yes, it's only a rhetorical term.
Yeah.
So you're not talking about caravan. And it could be everything that moves in large amount
it's just
of
the lineup moving in a
lineup
direction.
moving in one direction.
Right.
Right. So anyway, forget that part.
Yeah.
So when we learn about the caravans, though, has anything been done? Has anything been adopted as a tactic towards it?
Well, right now.
The answer is no.
Okay.
Okay, why not? Because we were so busy with the midterm election.
Correct.
Right? All attention
was
taken
given to
away
that. Yeah.
by the midterm election.
Yeah.
This is one way of explaining it. It
Yeah.
diluted the attention.
But President Trump, in all of those rallies he did, he kept mentioning it. He said, "We're being invaded,"
Yeah.
and they don't like to use the word invasion. Our
It
radical
is now.
left. It is an invasion.
It is now, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, now.
And it's violent.
I support immigration. I support the asylum seekers if they do have a legit case. Even though it may not finally be approved, at least they say, I hold a case.
By coming through the legal processes.
Yeah,
Correct.
coming through the legal process and wait in the outside of fence.
Yeah.
Now that we're talking about in Mexico, right, and not attacking the fans or the public the border agencies, right? Okay, now.
Well, they planned that attack.
By looking at the timing, though, I would say the orchestrators, right, successfully used the moment of Americans being subtracted from, attention from here to the election, right?
Yeah. No. Well, see, right now.
And then they
timing.
grow. They allow the time to grow into such a big size.
Now, one of the good things happening is a lot of the people are going back home. They're giving up, okay, because they're not going to get in. And the other thing is Mexico is giving asylum to some of them. I'm not sure who and how many, and so some, if they could have a better. I mean, if it's so bad in Guatemala, Nicaragua, etc., Mexico. Has got a lot of land, got a lot of room, and has a decent economy, and they can have a better life there.
Another area that I'm not saying I'm criticizing,
yes, sir.
I say that Donald Trump should have done, prior to sending troops.
Okay.
Okay, now that we see money goes to Mexico to comfort the Mexicans, to help us, right? To get them on the same boat with us.
Not yet.
Take Tijuana, for example.
Yeah.
Tijuana has 1.7 million people.
Is it? It's a big
In
city.
the
I've
city.
been there
It's a
several
big city
times.
there. I've been there myself too.
Yeah, it's
right?
a big
now,
place.
They have a tight supply of on a day-to-day basis for their own 1.7 million.
Sure, they do. Yes.
Yeah, giving them 15,000.
It's not a wealthy city.
Giving them 15,000 all at once. So
yeah.
And they will be. They have
that's
quite a
disarray.
handful to deal with.
Yeah.
So the Americas, if I were Donald Trump, I will sign an executive order. Okay, $2 million Tijuana. Okay, Mr. Mayor, take the money, take care of my problem.
Well, I'll tell you why.
Is that a smarter way to do?
Well, I'll tell you why I wouldn't do it. Then all it does is make it easy for them to just stay there and hang out and have a lifestyle.
No. I will say, seal your eastern border.
Okay, for that, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Seal your eastern border.
Right.
And take this money, get rid of the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, now use the money to not only by providing their camps whatsoever, providing them jobs. Give them a piece of land, go cultivate, support yourself.
Their intentions of coming to our country, their intentions are illegal intentions.
Once again, my problem is
I don't want to pay them for that.
Now, one problem is that I can't see a cooperation here, an open order there. You know what I mean?
Cooperation, okay.
To Mexico, I can agree they are legit. They are really, really, really helping us by seeing an open border to the east, to let them
Well,
in.
that would be, yeah.
To let them in, and the western border to deal with the United
Well, and
States.
don't forget, these people that came into Mexico, they came in violently because they had it all blocked off, and they violently attacked it, including the Mexican police.
I know.
Attacking the police
Mexican-
and got into Mexico violently,
Mexico has its own border control.
which was inadequate, which so is ours.
Of course, you use the money.
Right.
Use the money, enhance your border control.
Right, right.
Right. And the same thing
Yeah.
should be done with the Guatemala. Mr. President of Guatemala, here's the money. Go seal your eastern border,
Yeah.
southeast border, and your southwest border, and stop the problem. Go handle the problem on your own land.
That'd be okay. Now, also, if you close your eyes, you can see the Tijuana border where like 100,000 cars go back and forth every day.
I know.
President Trump is threatening to just shut the whole border
And also,
down. I
know,
support
yeah.
that.
We'll give that comment later, though.
Okay.
And also on another layer. All right. The way I see it is not a United States problem only. It is a United Nations problem. On the humanitarianism level, the United Nations should step out. Say
The United Nations is a failed organization, though, in my opinion.
Even
It's a failed, yeah.
just because it's a failed organization, I say
yeah.
it is on the United Nations level is a humanitarian problem.
Well, it's a humanitarian problem, but it should be a humanitarian problem for people seeking to do things in a legal, honorable way.
I know.
You know?
But down to earth, down to the point though, regardless of who they are, suppose each and every one were criminal, but they are human beings, right? They need to eat,
Well, sure
they need to
they're-
drink. You can't execute them on the spot.
No, you can't do that, but I'm not going to feed rapists and I'm not going to feed murderers.
No.
Jack.
Are you feeding a sick dog?
A dog is sick is different than,
No, of course.
Yeah.
Or crazy dog. Or phobia dog.
Well-
okay, say a phobia dog, right? So you are handling the human beings here.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. If you recognize that's a human being problem, and then you should agree with me, that's a United Nations problem.
Well,
on the UN level.
just like Europe.
And yet
Europe
United-
has been ruined with
yes,
refugees.
I know. And the United Nations has
Ruined.
done nothing.
Nothing effective, right?
Exactly
Nothing
so
effective.
far,
Yeah.
looking at the problem though,
Yeah.
this is the problem that nobody knows the solution. Okay. On the other hand,
True.
you look at Europe, look at France, look at like Germany.
Yeah.
See what's happening. You understand? Oh my God, they regret what they did.
Angela Merkel.
Now Donald
Germany.
Trump says no way, right? On one hand, this is right. On the other hand, he has to do something immediately because those are human beings.
Well, he is doing something right now.
Yes.
He is.
Give them food, give them water.
You can't
and
make
winter,
it easy for
and
them to
winter
stay
is coming,
there, though,
baby.
Jack.
Winter is coming.
Well,
Winter is coming.
Tijuana doesn't have a lot of snow.
No. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm talking about the chill nighttime.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You need a blanket, right?
Yeah.
You need a pair of shoes, whatever, right?
Right.
Okay, now, and then sickness. And then
They have all
medical,
of those
medical,
problems. Yeah.
medical pandemic, right?
Well,
Right? Medical pandemic situation is
They're a long
supposed
way
to
from that,
happen.
but yeah.
Long way.
Yeah.
So now, if United States administration, Trump administration is sober-minded, control the way they do with the border. Now that the troops are there, let them remain. Make sure nobody shoots.
well, you can't
All right.
stop them from shooting on the other side, but they don't have a lot of guns. That's the
And
good thing.
In
okay?
in the meantime, try to do something monetarily to the Mexican country. Let them take advantage of the situation, make some money, be getting a little richer by taking care of the problem.
Yeah.
And to Guatemala doing the same thing, and to Honduras, right, do the same thing too. That will stop the problem. That will give a reasonable response to push back problem rather than to passively defense.
Well, when we do next week's show, the new president of Mexico will be inaugurated, and then we'll see, because his people and our people are getting together if they're going to then work out ways to keep the people over in Mexico and help them make either apply for asylum or go back home,
reasonable,
or get a job
very
in Mexico.
Reasonable,
yeah.
Very
but
reasonable.
There's not all that many jobs in Tijuana too.
Very reasonable. All right. So this is about it. Okay, my dear friends. What a problematic world.
It is.
Well, what a problematic world.
We're blessed.
Right?
We go home. We have a nice place to
Anyway, I really wish that my criticism was accepted. And of course, it wasn't. I really wish that is accepted. And in the meantime, recommendations are that we got to take care of the problem both hands. Right? Instead of passively waiting there to defend.
Right.
To a certain point, that you are trapped into a situation that if one of the soldiers fired and somebody died, the
people over there want some little kid to get shot or something, because then they'll use that for their political purposes. They would be happy to do that.
And on the other hand, you really will have to take them as human, right? You really have to provide them day-to-day supplies of almost everything, even toilet paper, all right?
Well, I don't think that's not our job. Now, I love everybody.
No. I'm not talking about, it is not talking about job now.
Mexico's doing their best.
Yeah. Let's talk about, it is not our job, I agree. Yeah. However, it is a humanitarian job.
Well, and then get the United Nations, not
just
United
Nations.
problem.
Yes, you're right. If the United Nations is not doing anything, let's push everybody in the United States, a member country, whatever, to do something, to take a resolution right away. Yep. If money is necessary, why can't UN money be sent over there? Right?
It could.
That's the problem.
That's a very good
point. All right,
point.
very good.
Thanks,
my
Jack.
dear friend, my lovely audience, we love you a lot. And I love people. I can't see people dying. Right? The only thing I can't see is that when you create a problem, so you cry for wolves. Cry wolf. Right.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah, don't cry wolf.
Cry
wolf.
It's
gotta be serious.
And then, matter of fact, you say fire.
Right.
And then you are
That's a good point.
One.
That's a good
You are
point.
the one,
Yeah.
right?
You're right.
So
That's
that
good.
is the problem. I believe right now what's happening is well orchestrated, is a theoretical show, right? That you will see. You will see. Okay. Thank you for watching, my dear friends, and to friend Jack. Can have me.
Whoever
Jack,
I am.
Yeah, Jack. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
Love your viewers.
Yeah, sure.